Right, next up is this. It just says electronic parts. I've got a feeling this might have come from Alice. But actually, this has been sat on my shelf for quite a while, so I'm not 100% sure. Yes, this is a little USB to serial adapter. Tiny little thing. So yes, this is a quite a small CP2102 USB to serial adapter board. Now, I actually noticed that it's not quite as small as I thought it was. In fact, it's not so much different to this CP2102. The main difference being that instead of having the big USB plug, it has a tiny little micro USB, so you'd use it in conjunction with a lead, and that's probably a bit more practical than... Yeah, so really it's the form factor of this thing which I think is probably more practical than the original type. Okay, so this is a CP2102 micro USB to, well, UART TTL serial, in other words. 6-pin module serial converter replaces the FT232. Yes, doesn't it just? So this is just $2.06 free shipping, and this came from Alice 110 1983. Right, just briefly, this is another one that's been sitting around for ages, and all it is I think a 3-meter USB 2 cable. Yeah, so actually this is a 10-foot or 3-meter USB extension lead, and I bought this for when I was doing the GPS experiments, and I had the GPS module out on my dustbin outside the workshop, and I just needed a way of getting from the USB through the USB to serial adapter and into the GPS unit, but actually this wouldn't have been that practical. So the system I had was my PC's USB socket, a USB to serial converter, and then the GPS unit outside some distance away. And my intention was to put these two things together and have a long cable here, an extension cable, so that these two units could be outside. But in fact, it ended up more practical having these two inside and a long cable running between these two. And in fact, what I ended up doing was just using a long piece of ribbon cable. And the reason for that is because this thing was transmitting, I think, a data packet once every second. And it was very useful to see the little receive LED on the USB to serial converter here inside the room. So just because I've opened it now, I thought I'd show where I got it. This is the item here. It's a 3-meter USB to A male to A female extension cable, basically. Very cheap, $2, so that's not much more than £1 for a 10-foot cable. That's pretty good. They sell a lot of these. 2,500 have been sold. That came from Jinbo store, and I'll put links to all these items in the description. Okay, final item, and it's a big one. Let's see if I can rip it open from this corner. Okay, I'll get this all unwrapped. And it's these two things, two identical fishing tackle boxes. No, I'm not planning to take up fishing as a new hobby, but these boxes looked interesting for storage of, why doesn't it open? For storage of resistors. Yeah, so the reason I like the look of these is because they have, now this is quite strange, they've got these dividers which sort of have these strange curves in them, so you get these little compartments, but also the same sort of thing on the other side, so this box is actually double-sided. So there are 6 compartments on each side. Interestingly, you get 5 wide compartments and then this little thin narrow one down the side, which may or may not be useful. I'm not quite sure yet. But yes, I want to store resistors in these, and the fact that it stores 12 or has 12 compartments seemed to be something of an advantage, because resistors come in either the E12 series or the E24 series, so I bought 2 of these. So I've got 24 compartments in total to store all my new resistors. So I recently bought all these resistors those are the pots actually. These sets of 100 resistors and 2 of these kits from Rapid Electronics. Now these kits have most of the values of the E24 series, but notably there were a few that just weren't in there. So I made those up with these other sets that I bought from Rapid, these packs of 100. Now my resistor storage system at the moment is a bit of a mess because I don't actually have that many resistors. I bought these 5 compartment boxes and stuck on these values 33, 39, 47, 56 and 6, 8. These stickers I couldn't get grey, so I had to just rub a bit of pencil on the white stickers to make grey. Yes, I know it's a bit of a bodge. Now I've mixed the decades, so in 4.7 you've got 47 ohms, 470, 4K7, 47K and 470K. Right, so let's see how it's going to work by just transferring some of these 47s or 470s. Yeah, they do get a bit stuck down in that groove at the bottom. I'm not sure how practical this is going to be and how easy they are going to be to get out of that little groove. Maybe I can cut some bits of this foam and sort of stick it down inside these grooves so that the resistors don't drop in. Let's just try that. Yeah, that works a bit better. That at least stops them dropping down into the thin part of the groove. So I now can rummage through and pick out the resistor I want. Now for labelling I'm using these stickers. What are they? West Design, but they're obviously Blick labels. This packet, I can't remember, I think I got this on eBay, but it had gold and it also had black. So critically gold works as brown, red, yellow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple and white. As I say, there's no grey, but if you rub a bit of pencil over the white ones you can at least get the full set of numbers. So I can start labelling these up now. Now, rather irritatingly, the compartment on the left is the narrow one, and I really want to start doing this in sequence. So that I want as my 10, but of course 10 is, well, of course, actually I could put 10 right at the far end, couldn't I? So perhaps if I start with, what's the first number after 10 in the E12 series? I think it's 12. So if I put my 12s in there, and then my 15s, 18s, 22s and so on, yeah, perhaps I'll do that. So how practical these are going to be for resistors, it remains to be seen. But these are 12 compartment, double-sided fishing lure tackle hooks bait case storage box. These are $9.42 each. That's Canadian though, so they're $6.68 each. So what are they, about £5 each? I mean, they're not hugely cheap. It is free shipping, and these came from Say Hello 2015. And so this mixture of stuff constitutes today's Postbag. Cheerio.